A real treat in store for you, so I don't want you to leave just yet. I want to introduce you to somebody who's very special. Denise Stokes, who you're going to hear from in just a moment. She's an educational speaker. She's an educational consultant on AIDS, building upon her own life experience, which includes living with HIV for over 20 years. She shares her tenacity and her hope with audiences all over the world. Denise helped to put a face on heterosexual HIV infection in the 80s, and she was instrumental in gaining access to Southern African American addiction by homophobia and by racism. And she carries a passionate message of prevention and awareness to the world. So please help me welcome the official spokesperson for AIDS Walk Atlanta 2008, Ms. Denise Stokes.
Beautiful afternoon, Atlanta. How's it going? Good. This is an amazing, amazing day. And I love the theme for this year, that every life deserves hope. I'm almost 40 years old. I'm 39. Got my grades coming in, loving it. I've been living with HIV for 26, pushing 27 years. And I have to tell you that living with HIV is not the worst thing that ever happened to me. Living with HIV without hope is the worst thing that ever happened to me. For that reason, every life deserves hope. Becoming homeless as a result of being HIV positive and people just not wanting to deal with the issue was not the worst thing that happened to me. Being homeless because people were afraid to touch me was the worst thing that ever happened to me. Becoming a substance abuser and learning how to go through the process of recovery is the beautiful end result of that. But the beginning of that active addiction was not the worst thing that ever happened to me. The worst thing that ever happened was feeling like that's the only place I had to go because nobody wanted to open their ears and their arms and their hearts to the issue of HIV, and being driven so deep inside of myself that I didn't think I could ever come out again and hold my head with pride and say, I'm a human being, I'm somebody's daughter, I'm somebody's best friend, I'm somebody's sister, and I have AIDS, and you gotta deal with that. If I can deal with it, you need to learn how to deal with it. Every life deserves hope. Because what we're doing here today is we're continuing the diligent fight to erase the lines of racism, classism, sexism, and homophobia that perpetuates the spread of HIV. We must all be responsible for continuing to erase those lines, because those are the reasons that we have 48 million people living with HIV. Wherever there is someone living with HIV, we must be responsible for making sure that they have the resources and the hope that they need to live with this disease for as long as they possibly can, with as much dignity as they can muster in their hearts. We are responsible for that. I am here because of all the things that we lost in the fire. I will never forget the Bryans and the Tracys and the Candaces and the Kennys and the Johns and the Bobs and the lovers and the sisters and the daughters and the friends that we have lost to this disease. Those are the things that we lost in the fire of HIV and AIDS ravaging our communities that are irreplaceable. For that reason, every life deserves hope. Because maybe if we were able to give them just a little bit more hope, just a few more resources, just a little bit more of something that they can hold on to, we would be holding on to their hands today and not just to their memories. Every life deserves hope. I'm going to close this out because I know we are hyped up, we are ready for the walk, we are ready for the run. I'm going to close this out because I was asked to do a spoken word piece, and Lord, I hope I don't forget my own words. The name of this poem is The Upside Down, because no matter what's happened to me in life, no matter what's happened to you in life, you always know that at the end of the day, no matter how hard it was, there was hope. There was hope. So it's called The Upside Down. I found out what sex was all about from a strange man in muddy boots at a construction site. And from 13 to 30, just before I say my prayers, I would see his face at night. And I always wondered if he hated himself because he sent me away with my panties torn off, and I'll never forget that day. And I tried to tell my mother about the muddy man and the daddy I missed and some more deep stuff, but she always seemed ticked. And I wondered if she knew how her words cut through my soul, and if she would hate herself for doing them when she finally got old. So I ran into a pretty black boy with a shiny red car. He promised me the moon until I started to see stars. And he never stopped to wonder or tried to find out. He would one day hate himself for turning me out. But another dude told me, don't worry, because a sack of dope might fix it. And he cut it, and he cooked it, and he even showed me where to stick it. And I wondered if he would hate himself and beg my pardon. Because instead of waking me up, he sent me nodding. And y'all, I slept for years because I felt like I couldn't take it. Missed most of my young life because I was too scared to try and make it. And I used to hate the world because I was on the bottom of a blacklist. But hating was so hard that I dug deep for my God-given gifts. Now I got me a soapbox and a microphone, but I can't say I preach. Be in newspapers and on talk shows because I spend my life trying to teach and let folks know that hatred ain't nothing but fear of a sister like me who stands her ground and speaks her piece and don't care who hears. And some people say horrible things about where I've been and what I've done, and I sometimes cry till I think I'm dying. But if that's all it takes to stop another man's blood from spilling, I'll spend the rest of my life crying. Because folks act like they don't know what hate is. Not the same hate I know about. I'm a poor, drug-addicted, black female living with AIDS in the South. And I've been boxed in by it and locked down by it and begged till I was blue to be let out. So go ahead, laugh, turn your back. I'm still not ashamed to say, yeah, I took the wrong path and I fell a few times before I finally found my way. But y'all, I gotta tell it like a TI is, and maybe something I've done wrong can help you to live. Cause all this save face stuff, it ain't worth the price of dust. And in the big scheme of things, all we got is love. So I'ma keep my head up and keep my armor on. I'ma keep on hanging tough and just keep on keeping on.